For me, what makes the Griswolds so relatable and so iconic is how much they care about each other as a family. And Rusty Griswold, is all about his family's happiness. And I know even as a dad myself, that's something I can relate to, and I related to in the original movies with my father. What I loved about the guys, Goldstein and Daly's take on it was simple. They really just are kind of telling, on one hand, the same story. It's a family going on a cross-country trip to Wally World, to an amusement park, and every family does that. They go to Disneyland, they go to all these different places. But in the case of this movie, what's kind of smart about it is it's also the passing of the torch. It's generational. And he's trying to kind of relive the experience he had as a kid with his own dad. And the Griswolds, in a way, the Griswold curse, you could say, is romanticizing disasters and looking back at these experiences where things went horribly wrong and remembering them really fondly as if they were like a perfect experience. And that's what Clark did in the first movie when he's sitting there with the beer with his son and they're talking about how this is what he did with his family, and he remembers it so well. And Rusty's doing the same exact thing. He's remembering this trip as this great thing when it clearly was a disaster that we get to see. Ed Helms was perfect and exciting casting for us and for this movie, because he kind of embodies a lot of what Chevy Chase did, his sort of eternal optimism for the family and for the trip, and not giving up to the point of insanity. But Ed also has this kind of inherent sweetness, and that is, I feel what differentiates him a little bit from what Chevy Chase brought to the part in a good way, and allows him to kind of make it his own. Well, Christina, brings not only a wealth of comedic experience, given everything that she's done. She's also, in the movie, she's the voice of reason, and she plays that so well. But at the same time, what I think we tried to do with this movie is give her more of a voice and give her character a little more depth than what the original franchise may have had in terms of understanding what, let's say, a mom at that age with 2 kids is going through personally. And that feels also kind of relatable and modern. And Christina's a mom, and she's married, and so it was nice to be able to pull from her experiences. So getting Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo to be in this movie was essential. It not only is the passing of the torch from the elder statesman Griswolds to the next generation Griswolds. It validated the movie by showing that they kind of approved of it, and thematically fit the story about the different generations of family and the way that generation to generation kind of teaches the next. And so that was incredibly important. Everything that Jonathan Goldstein and John Daly have shot so far on this movie, and even in the assemblies of some of the scenes that I've seen, has exceeded my expectations, which doesn't surprise me because I've known them for years as writers. We've worked on at least 3 scripts together, and their voice and their comedy is very specific, and they know it so well. They make each other laugh like little nerds, so to see them get to direct their writing, it was exciting because you knew that they were going to finally get to realize their writing in the way that they saw it, in the way that was making them laugh when they would pitch each other. And that's happened with all the stuff that we've shot. With everything they've shot, they tend to just elevate it, and they have a very specific to them way of shooting it, and they see it in their heads, and it's exactly what you want out of comedy directors. They know what they want, both from the actors, both from the camera, and in the edit. Like they already know how they want this thing put together. It's made them incredibly efficient directors. It's like it's their 5th movie.